I don't like that it's still cold outside, Jeff. It's annoying to
Get in
me.
the hot tub after this.
I want to get in the hot tub.
You never get in.
Maybe tonight I will, though. May I come in?
I always want you to come with. You never do. You never get in anymore.
Yeah, I'll do tonight. Hello, everyone, and what? Sorry. I just looked over. I thought you were mid-yawn. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games.
And
board gamey things.
Exactly. That's exactly what it's about. We're here today for another episode of Board Games and Brew. Oops.
Sans brew.
I forgot. I forgot to make the brew. Sometimes in life, you just forget the brew. And that's okay. That's part of life. To brew or not to brew.
You've seen it enough.
We're here today to talk about or give some suggestions about some games that you might play with non-board gamers. Now, what do I mean by a non-board gamer? It's somebody who just
set up a scenario.
Okay.
For me.
We are going to hang out with a couple of friends. And these friends, in their lifetime, maybe they played Clue or Monopoly. Perhaps they've played Uno and Skip-Bo. Maybe a little bit of Crib with their grandparents on a Sunday afternoon. But they've never played any, modern board games. In fact, they don't even know the hobby exists. Hey, Jeff, what do you do for fun?
Board games.
Oh, you mean like Monopoly?
Kind of, but not really. There's a big, wide world of board games out there that you're missing.
I never knew. Those are the people we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I didn't know. Could you maybe show me some?
Absolutely, I could.
Perfect.
I'll bring some the next time we hang out.
Exactly. So that's kind of where we're going. These might be the kind of board games that you might bring to hang out with your friends who don't play board games. If you kind of want to ease them into it, you don't want necessarily something that's too board gamery. You don't want to scare them away. So we came up with a list of 10 games that we would suggest that you bring out in that exact situation. What?
My eyes are watering.
Why? Okay, so the first game on the list is called My Shelfie, and this is from Lucky Duck Games. Jeff, tell the people about My Shelfie, would you?
My Shelfie is basically an iteration on Connect 4. So why we thought this would be a good, I guess, intro into the hobby is most people know Connect 4 or have played Connect 4. My Shelfie is the next iteration of that, and ultimately what you are doing in My Shelfie is trying to complete a personal objective, which is a card that you have in front of you, as well as a common goal card or two that are out on the board. And all of those are associated with different tiles you're going to be placing into your grid that have different colors and types. So it's like cats, awards, books,
plants,
etc., etc. You're basically putting stuff on your shelf. Essentially. You're drafting tiles from a common board in the middle. There's some rules about being able to take certain tiles to place, and then you place them into your grid, and you have to place them in one column. So it becomes very puzzly to determine, if I put this here, it's kind of screwing over my personal goal, but it's helping me with the common goals. Super easy to play, super easy to teach, and familiar to a lot of people, in my opinion.
And it has a bit of a toy factor, because it's got this plastic structure, just like Connect 4. You're taking the tile and you're literally dropping it in. You get to watch it drop.
Indeed.
Very fun. The next game on our list is called Disney Villains, the card game. And this is a game that looks like any other card game, except it has pictures of Disney villains and heroes on it. So basically in this game, everybody's playing as a different villain, and you are playing out cards in front of you. Everybody's got a pile in front of them, and you want cards to be played on your pile of cards, okay? Because for all of the cards that you collect, those are points for you. So how you play this is you're going to have cards that are different numbers and different colors. In order to play out a card, it has to match either the color or the number of a... Sorry, you would just look really deep in thought. You were like this.
What am I supposed to do with my face?
I don't know. You are going to lay out a card that either matches the color or number of another card that's in the circle. that is the entire game. You can choose to flip a card over to its hero side if you want, but then all of those numbers are going to be negative at the end of the game. Let's say you have 3 hero cards, all of the 3s in your stack of cards are not going to count. So that's basically how it works. Whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. It is a very mean game because there's special cards where you can kind of mess around with people and do different things. And basically you're just trying to make everyone put cards in your pile. It's super fun, really quick, really easy. You could play this with literally anyone, and it has a very welcoming theme because it's Disney. And everybody loves Disney, and people, you get to pick your favorite character. Jeff was Jafar.
Number 3 on our list is our first foray into the party-esque type games, which I do think inherently play well in these environments.
I think it's our only party game.
I would say party games kind of were what got us somewhat into it.
I think it's what most people are
Most
familiar
people,
with.
I do think, would penetrate. I don't want to use that word.
Yeah.
I think most people would get into the hobby via party games. I think
Yes.
that's a commonality that a lot of people would have.
Agree.
Anyway, that game is Tapple. Tapple is basically just a circular toy. I'm going to call it a toy because it basically is. And it has letters of the alphabet all the way around it. And it doesn't have all letters of the alphabet. I can't remember which ones are excluded, but like X is excluded.
Z, I think.
Some of the more difficult ones. And you will get prompts. There's prompt cards and a timer element to this. So the prompt might be, we make up our own. You don't have to use the cards, but it might be movie titles. And so then you start the timer and everyone around would click off the letter. Let's just say airplane, and then they would push A. Or Braveheart, and then hit B, and then you hit the timer. So every time you make a guess, you hit the timer, it passes to the next person, and ultimately you're just going around and around and hoping that it doesn't buzz on you for taking too long. And it gets more and more difficult because once the A is gone, once the B is gone, you can't then also use those letters.
Yeah.
So it gets more and more difficult. It's silly, nonsensical fun, but we've had a blast playing this with multiple different groups. One-on-one, it has
Team mode.
It has so much flexibility to it, so much just plop it and play. It's so easy, and it's just a blast, and it has caused so much like fun and laughter and just silly times around a table.
Love it.
And that's really what you want. You want people to leave
fun.
that event being like, that was so friggin' fun. I want to do that more.
Yes, 100%. Our next one is a little game called Go Nuts for Donuts.
Probably the meanest game on this.
It's super mean, but
list.
it's adorable, and it's like non-threatening.
It's non-threatening. It's passive-aggressively mean.
Exactly. So basically, in this game, you are secretly bidding on which donut you want to take in a row of donuts. The catch is, if anybody else bids on the same donut that you want, nobody gets the donut.
Nobody gets the donut.
Okay, so you're trying to figure out, like, is nobody going to go for that donut because it's a really good donut, so I should do it? Or is everyone going to go for that donut, so I should try something different? And the truth is, you just never know.
There's almost a strategy of that game of like picking the worst donut.
Yeah,
because
or just picking the most middle donut.
Yeah,
because
it's a game in figuring out what the middle donut is.
Yeah, and all the donuts have different scoring objectives. As an example, whoever has the most plain donuts gets X amount of points. There's different donuts that allow you to pawn off some of your negative point donuts to other people. There's ones that let you grab from the discard pile, the ones that are set collection. There's ones that if you have less than X, you get this many points. It is, once again, easy entry, super fun, pretty quick, mean, but in a fun way. Like, it's not a game that you can actually get mad at. Like, you can't purposefully go after someone.
I would say it's more frustration.
Yeah, it's like
fun frustration than
I wanted that glaze.
We've played this with our friends over at Table Knots multiple times, and it's always just such a riot. Like, I complain all the time.
Jeff's like, I want to play this to get mad.
Jokingly, because like Danielle and I will always pick the same card, and it's just infuriating, but you're just laughing about it because there's literally nothing you can do.
There's nothing you could do. Yeah, it is a fun time.
Number 5 is one that has become a huge hit here for us personally, and it is Town 66.
Right there.
Town 66 is a oink game, small box, easy to bring to other people's houses.
Easy to take to a restaurant.
Easy to bring out anywhere. Town 66 is a really cool little puzzle game where you are trying to create rows and columns without creating duplicates. So the theme of the game is that everyone in your neighborhood wants to have a unique house, and they don't want their neighbors to basically be the same color or design as their house. In order to do that, you are placing tiles one at a time, you're drafting them from the bag, and again, creating rows and columns that do not duplicate. So there's multiple different colors and shapes of houses in this game, and you have to try to puzzle out putting those in rows and columns so that they don't duplicate in said row and column. It is not complicated, but it is very difficult, and it has such a small table presence that you could literally play this anywhere, and would be a really good hit with people that just like to puzzle. And I think there's a lot of people out there that do like to just puzzle that stuff out.
Do you know what I feel like right now is a really good time for us to take a break and talk about today's video sponsor?
Let's do it.
Okay, and that is the World Series of Board Gaming. And it just sparked my
The
mind.
WSBG.
WSBG, because, you know, in Town 66, no two things are really quite the same, just like in Las Vegas, okay? Which is where the World Series of Board Gaming takes place. Now, even if you're a new gamer, you could still go.
You could.
You could go, you could discover, and who knows, you might even have a hidden talent at a board game. You could enter the contest and win 25,000
American dollars.
American doll hairs. Is it doll hairs or dollars?
We'll need to get confirmation.
We're going to need to get confirmation, but it's one or the other, and both
Either way.
Equally valuable.
How many doll hairs are equal to one Stanley nickel?
I'll have to convert that to Shroot Bucks first. Okay. The World Series of Board Gaming is a board gaming tournament. It happens in September in Las Vegas. If you want to go, all of the information is going to be linked down below, but essentially you can go participate in these competitions, play for a chance to win all those doll hairs and or dollars, as well as a really super fancy ring with diamonds. Even better, you can actually go and just play games with your friends, which is something that we thoroughly enjoy doing. And
Highly recommend.
Highly recommend. And they have the gaming library from Dice Tower West, which we have experienced, and guess what?
It is a library.
It's a library, and it is big, and it is awesome. So, if you're interested in going to the World Series of Board Gaming, you can find all the information linked down below. We also do have a couple of affiliate links. Jeff and I are having a bit of a competition, as you do, in Las Vegas. You can use the code fosterthejamie, or you can use the code Jeff, something like that. It might be Jeff the Foster. I'm not really sure exactly what his code is, and he probably doesn't know either.
Listen, you gotta resort to these little sleazy tactics. You do you, man.
The point is, it's all below. Feel free to use our code if you would like, and that is the World Series of Board Gaming. Next up on our list is a little game about murder, and it is called Micro Macro Crime City. Now, this is a game to introduce to your adult friends only, okay? Because there is a lot of murder that happens in this game, and essentially, this is a great game for any friends of yours that like true crime. They like solving like mysteries and puzzles, like Where's Waldo. This is a big paper map, and in this map it's filled with clues and these little drawings, and you're going to go through different little scenarios, and the scenarios are going to tell you as you go a crime that you're trying to solve. And so you have to use the big map in order to find the clues that will lead you to another clue, that you have to find another clue until you solve the mystery.
And it's not overly, like, the map's massive. Like, it's not easy. You
can have multiple people working on this. And it would definitely be the kind of game that somebody who's never seen something like that before, it would definitely hook them in.
Be super into it.
Yeah, it is so fun. Once again, with all of these games, the biggest thing is that they have a simple rule set. There's a low barrier to entry. They're going to offer something a little bit unique that maybe somebody hasn't quite seen before, and they're going to offer fun, and that's what Micro Macro Crime City does.
Next one on our list is a dexterity game that is got a silly theme wrapped up into it. and that is Kabuto Sumo.
Mm-hmm.
Kabuto Sumo is a wrestling-esque
Bug
game where you are playing a bunch of different asymmetrical bugs, and the only objective is to push your opponent off of the board.
Off of the ring.
There is a platform that you are using in this game with a bunch of different like pieces on it, and ultimately your bug friend will be a different size, shape, or
have a different
ability than your opponent, and you're ultimately on your turn pushing more and more things onto this platform and hopefully strategically pushing things off to get more chips for you to push back on the board with the ultimate goal of pushing the opponent's bug off. Super simple, super silly, very, very enjoyable.
It's like got a novelty factor, and I would say this is the kind of game that I would almost only play with new gamers.
Yeah.
I think you could play it with your gamer friends maybe once, and then you might be like, okay, I've played it. But this would be the kind of game that if you play it with people who've not seen anything like this before, they would get a huge kick out of it.
Agreed.
Sumo Wrestler Bugs.
Yep.
It's not to love about that. So the next game that we have to recommend is actually more of a type of game. So we're going to give a few examples, and that is something either from the Exit series or the Unlock series. And both of these types of games are kind of like an escape room in a box. Escape rooms are something that a lot of people are really familiar with, regardless of whether they play board games. It is a team activity that you can do, and maybe it's like people that you don't really know that well. Actually, you could go either way, but it'd be kind of like a cool icebreaker to play with like a couple of other people or people that you know really well and see how well you guys all actually work together. There is so many options to choose from in both of these series that you can generally find a theme that is going to work really well with you. The Exit games are generally just in the box, do whatever it says, tear things up. So Unlock has an app like feature, which might be kind of cool for some people to see how that works. So this is great for people who love solving puzzles, cracking codes and stuff. And then there's, like I said, a theme for everyone. I know the Unlock series has like an Alice in Wonderland one, a Wizard of Oz one. Exit has like a haunted roller coaster, Lord of the Rings. So yeah, there's themes for everyone.
Yeah. Next up at number 9, we have a Slaptastic Voyage.
I love this game.
That is Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza is shenanigans in a box. In Taco, I'm going to say taco at some point.
This is what it is.
I'm really struggling to not say taco. In Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, you're going to be playing cards out and saying those words in that order. And all of the cards will have a taco, a cat, a goat, a cheese, a pizza on it. So if it's my turn, or gorilla, unicorn, narwhal, gorilla.
And there's another one. I can't remember what it is.
I can't remember. Doesn't matter. So if it's my turn, I'm going to start. I'm going to play out a card and say taco. If it's a taco, the card's a taco, you have to slap your hand down on it.
Be quick.
If it's not, you just keep going. So then it would be Jamie, and she says cat. Maybe it's not a cat. No problem. Comes back to me, and I'm like, go. Maybe it's a goat, and we're like, boom.
Boom.
And the person gets the cards, right? All of them?
I think so.
Jamie and I have had bruises on our hands from this bad boy. There's also 2 cards that break the game a little bit. It's gorilla, and you have to do this. And then there's narwhal.
And there's one more, and I feel like it's like groundhog or...
Yeah, it might be groundhog.
Royal Promise.
Royal Promise. Anywho, doesn't matter. It's shenanigans. It's super fun. It's like a take on like the old card game called like War.
Slap. Like
Slap, whatever. It's super fun. It's very engaging. People are always laughing playing this game. There's multiple variants of this game that aren't taco.
Santa, cookie, elf, candy, snowman.
There's a Canadian one, I think, that has like poutine in it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch, and it's just silly, silly fun, and I don't think I've ever left playing this game not like smiling ear to ear.
Yeah. So the last game that we have on the list is a classic, actually, and it's one that we recently tried, and I have been absolutely loving. It is a cooperative game, it is a card game, and it is called Hanabi. So basically in Hanabi, everybody has a hand of cards, but the catch is that you actually don't get to see the front of your cards. but everybody else does. So you're looking at the back of your cards, not knowing what the heck is going on. And then everybody is trying to give you clues as to what cards you have in your hand, because in the middle of the table, there is going to be 5 piles of different colors. And you are trying to get each color to have a card from 1 till 5. And we want them in order. So you want 1 green, 2 green, 3 green, 4 green. So on your turn, you can either discard from your hand, you can play a card onto one of those piles and hope that it is going in the right order, or you can give somebody a clue based on what they have in their hand. And if they have multiple of the thing you're giving a clue on, then you get to tell them those things. So let's just say Jeff has a 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. I can say you have 2 2s, and they are these cards. It's Jeff's job to remember which ones you pointed out, which is not so easy to do. So you can either say you have X number of number, or you have X number of color. And then it's your job to kind of suss out what you have and then play it out. And like I said, the goal is to get every pile to 5. And if you do that, you win. So those are 10 games that we would recommend to play with some people who maybe are new to the hobby or don't know anything about it. And you want to show them a little bit of magic. Magic. Taylor Swift does this. Shimmer. We would love to know down below what some recommendations you might have. Like, what are some games that you've pulled out in this exact situation? We would love to know. But that's everything that we have for today. So if you're interested...
What now?
Sometimes, like, I could tell you're thinking about something, but I can't tell what you're thinking about because you're like...
It's just my face, man.
What were you thinking about?
I don't know.
If you're interested in buying board games, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Yes, they have so many of these games. Yeah, these are our mugs. They have so many of these games and great intro games for people. Definitely go check them out, or check out your friendly local gaming store. If you like snacks...
Munch Pack.
Exactly. Delicious.
We just got our new one.
Yeah. And
oh, boy.
Jeff is excited because there's a new drink to try. So we'll be doing that in our wrap-up. But that is all that we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
These might be the people that ask, hey, what do you do for fun?
What do you do for a living?
Like, what do you do for fun? You answer. What do you do for fun?
Oh, I like to play Planet Zoo.
No. What do you do for fun? Do it! Just say I play board games!
I feel like you're in one of those moods where you're like, come on, man. Let's just get through this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell.
Because I gotta edit.
I can tell.
Okay.
There's sometimes you're up for my shenanigans and sometimes you're not. And
I'm up for some shenanigans, but I'm up for streamlined shenanigans.
This is a not time. This is a not time.
Yeah. What do you do for fun?
Board games.
Oh, you mean like Monopoly?
Yep. Nope.
Oh my god! And the first game that we're going to suggest, what now?
You're in a mood and it's funny.
Why is it funny?
Because I can tell.
I'm trying to be efficient.
Yeah, I know.
On to the next one.
Why you... like a child.
Like a firework.
I don't know how he does it.
I think I got it. I can't do that one. Okay.
Taco.
You almost said taco.
I know I did. I had to stop myself.
I was gonna let you get your yawn out.
Thank you. I guess me holding it in makes no difference because I'm trying to like hold it in, but you always seem to know when I'm doing it.
Because you do this. Not quite that intense, but do you know what
I'm sitting here thinking I'm being super sly, and you're like.
That's like Mike saying my mom when he's with Nick, and Nick's like, she's my mom too. It's a lot of pepper.